I have such a hard time explaining why Frodo left Middle Earth because it's not an easy thing to really explain what he suffered in the end. I can talk about the physical injuries, that every anniversary of the day that he was wounded by the Morgul knife on Weathertop by the Witch King causes him to fall ill. Same with the day March 13th. Every March 13th, he becomes ill again from when he was stung by Shelob and Cirith Ungol. These wounds never heal, and he says it to Samwise, only to be okay the next day. But there's something else looming always in the background. It's the burden that he had to carry. The fact that he suffered so much carrying this one ring. And no one can truly understand it. Samwise can, he understands the weight of it, but he can't understand the damage that it wrought on the very soul of Frodo Baggins. It only takes 2 years for Frodo Baggins to decide to leave the Shire and to go with Bilbo and the other three ring bearers over the seas. Because at this point, he has fallen into a bit of obscurity. Nobody cares about what Frodo did in the Shire. Nobody really understands what he went through. And it makes me think back to some of the last words that Frodo and Samwise say to each other. Frodo says to Samwise, "You're going to do great things. You're going to be mayor. You're going to take care of your family. You cannot be two people at the same time. You can't be split in half. You can't take care of me all the time and take care of your family and, take care of the Shire and save it." And, it's just something I don't think Samwise really understands until he's much older. Because at this point, Frodo is quite wise. He's quite powerful in his own sense. He has foresight. But the weight of the ring destroyed him. Like I said, it ate at his soul. And when you wear the ring, you're not really going invisible. You're being pulled into the unseen world where, like, the ring wraiths exist, for example. That's why, when Frodo has the one ring on, he could see them at Weathertop. He sees their true forms. His soul and this ring just are now bound together to some extent. That damage wrought is never going to even go away if he goes to the Undying Lands. He can find peace and reprieve, but that pain is not just going to go away out of nowhere. It is a spiritual pain. It is not something that the best healer like Elrond can resolve. And that's a hardship that he's going to have to face himself. He can't have other people split in two, just as much as he can't be split into himself. He can't be Frodo Baggins, who left the Shire that time with the One Ring with Samwise to go into bring it to Rivendell. He is now Frodo, who destroyed the One Ring and failed in the end and suffered more than anyone else, so they could be free of it. And that's something that, a lot of us don't get. And I don't even get to some extent. And that's why I have such a hard time explaining it. How do you explain this type of pain, this grief that we all go through when we lose something? You can't. Nobody can. It's something you need to find peace with for yourself.